Good morning or afternoon. Today's the first day of Lent. I thought during Lent I'm going to keep reading some poems, but I also thought I might read a few little essays I wrote over the years on Lent. These are short, so they're not like sermons. They're more me internalizing, reflecting on rhythms of the season and helping me process. And along the way, I started writing these back in the 1990s. And along the way, I had a few friends that wanted me to send them the emails, and I did. And I did it for a few years, and then, I don't know. I think my health and other things caused me not to write as much. So, I am going to read a little post. This is something I wrote, not exactly sure, but a little over 20 years ago. But it might be a way of thinking about Lent. So I'll just read it. It's short, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Lent is for lovers. Leaving the familiar behind, we are led into the wilderness, the wastelands, the desert. This is where we learn to love again. Like Moses and Abraham before him, we listen to the call and follow. The city is safe, but the wilderness is wild. Death is lurking. In the desert, we learn that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of the Father. In the driest, dustiest, desperate places, we discover an oasis of God's love. The desert makes us lovers. We become lovers by letting go. A few steps into the desert heat and we realize our extra clothes will smother. In the cool air of the city, we found comfort in these clothes, comfort in self-righteousness, comfort in respectability, comfort in the self-defenses of jealousy, envy, lust. The city teaches us that watching out for self is the only way we'll ever get what we need to survive. But the desert heat strips away this striving. In a few days, we stand naked before the God of the desert and discover what St. Anthony discovered. God's love is enough. This is the intoxicating love of the Father, Son, and Spirit, whirling and swirling within us. In the wilderness, in the wasteland, in the desert, we discover what we thought we lost. Eden. We realize we're still in Eden, that the Father still walks in the cool of the day. We've been blind to his goodness, deaf to his whispers, cold to his touch. In our fallenness, we've turned from the light of his goodness, and the world has become our burial ground. Like the walking dead, we stumble through life in a haze of self-delusion. The world is opaque. We're blind to the glory and wonder all around us. Rushing in our cars from here to there, we think only of what's next on the agenda and never pause to breathe in the wonder of life. Never pause to realize that every moment is gift. We are the walking dead. But in the desert, we stumble toward the cross so that we might live. In losing our life, we find it. We fast and pray, not to impress God, but because we realize that bread alone cannot sustain us. We eat because every morsel of food is a gift from the Creator of heaven and earth. In the desert, the world becomes transparent again. We see through the world and the sky to the loving hand of God. Everything around us is gift. Everything is a continuous chorus of praise to the goodness and glory of God. The desert makes us dangerous lovers. Abandoning all self-respectability, we learn to love God and love man. Love is not and never has been safe. Love is dangerous. Lovers pray dangerous prayers. Richard Wurmbrand was a lover. He prayed and asked God to convert the prison guard that tortured him. In fact, Wurmbrand prayed that if God called him home, he would wrap his arms around the legs of the prison guard and refuse to enter heaven until God allowed him in as well. Sound heretical? Well, actually, it's the prayer of Moses and Paul. Jesus lived this prayer. From the cross, he cries out, "Father, forgive them," and then bears the weight of their sin. During this Lent season, I challenge you not to simply find contentment in fasting and prayer and meditation upon the cross. Let the Holy Spirit use these things to take you past your own righteousness and into the desert of his love. Have a wonderful, blessed Ash Wednesday.